As nerdy as it might sound, I am a fan of progressive rock. I kind of always have been. And to me, the epitome of progressive rock leads you to King Crimson, especially this album. This is King Crimson's debut album, In the Court of the Crimson King. To me, this is exactly, if you're looking at progressive music, progressive rock in particular, this is where you need to start. For me, King Crimson is a band that is always pushing the envelope of whatever it is that they're doing. But to listen to them at their youngest and their rawest and their most unperfected form is what I love so much. And I love a lot of King Crimson. You know, Robert Fripp is one of my favorite musicians on the earth today, and I find him intensely inspiring as a human being. But for me, listening to him when he was starting out, making a name for himself, that raw quality is something that you just can't get away from. In and of itself, the album is only 5 songs long, but it's a full album length, and they're just such beautifully crafted pieces of music, melodically, harmonically, structurally. The musicianship is just second to none. I mean, obviously, starting out with 21st Century Schizoid Man is a great way to start out an album, and I've loved that song for so long. I can't really explain it. It's just such a great song. But then to come in after with a song like I Talk to the Wind, which is very, compared to what you've just heard, is very subdued. That dynamic shift is just something that at that point with the psychedelic rock, it kind of was lots of fuzz and lots of bluesy guitar licks and sitars and things like that. Whereas King Crimson was bringing in the mellotron, they were bringing in keyboards and organs and flutes and horns and other instruments that typically didn't find their way into the rock genre, and just making a great piece of music. But every song on this album is great. It is beautiful. It is just unreal. You have Epitaph, the third song, is a wonderful song, and the chorus, or at least if you can call it the chorus, confusion will be my epitaph as I crawl a cracked and broken path. If we make it, we can all sit back and laugh. But I fear tomorrow I'll be crying. Yes, I fear tomorrow I'll be crying. Who thought lyrics could get so deep in progressive music? And then the last song is, for me, the beat. This is progressive rock 101, In the Court of the Crimson King. I had a moment when I was younger, after I had first heard this album and first became aware of that song. I was sitting in this restaurant with my family, and it was a restaurant very famous for bringing in artists and showcasing art, kind of like a combined restaurant and art gallery. And somebody had taken the lyrics of In the Court of the Crimson King, and they had painted a piece where the lyrics were represented in the different images on the canvas. And I remember thinking to myself, one day I'm gonna own that painting. Well, of course, art costs money. Great art costs a lot of money. And, well, the restaurant closed before I could acquire that piece of art. So if I ever decide to get into art collecting, that's going to be one I'm going to be looking for. But this particular record is one of the crown jewels of my vinyl collection. It is a 1969 original Atlantic Records pressing of King Crimson's debut album. And sure, the packaging is in great shape. Not too many dings and not too many scuffs on it. It looks very good. But what really matters, of course, with vinyls is the way that the record sounds. And there's not a blemish on this record. It's as good as it was the day that somebody originally bought it. And to have it and to be able to listen to it like this, with the way that vinyl can fill up a room, sometimes I put vinyls on when I'm working around the house and I'm not always in a mode to just sit and listen. But I find myself, when I put this record on, always stopping and listening and getting distracted by the music and eventually just listening. Good music should have that effect. It should grab you, and it should make you pay attention. It should make you want to pay attention. I do agree with the sentiment that progressive music, progressive rock, is hard to get into. It's very inaccessible at times. But progressive music to me is still music. Progressive rock is still rock. And for my money and for my taste, if you need a good place to start, it doesn't get better than King Crimson, and it doesn't get better than In the Court of the Crimson King. I highly suggest you seek one of these CDs or albums out, add it to your collection, and let it inspire you.